old, so that fits.
Let's go.
We're riding. Hype happy hour, talking about life, so you might feel empowered. Hype happy hour, tornado on the mic with a guest giving flowers. Hype happy hour, tools, interviews, provide life tapping power. Hype happy hour, positive and light with advice. Build your tower. Happiness is key, so you gotta bring the smiles out. Inspiration needs a bit of passion to just wild out. Positivity and optimism when we ride out. Enthusiasm and dreams, gotta feed them till your time's out.
Let's go. Hyped Happy Hour, episode 21. I am Gentle Tornado here on this magical fucking journey we're riding. I created a company called Hyped. Hyped is an acronym that stands for happiness, inspiration, positivity, enthusiasm, and dreams. If you look at the logo in the bottom left-hand corner, it is an H with a heartbeat in the middle, because here at Hyped, we live every single day with the limited amount of heartbeats that we have, and so we're out here getting it. The goal of the podcast is to bridge the gap between Web3 and personal life, bridge that all together and make some noise around the words within Hyped. I'm on an absolute mission to make positivity louder and to just drive these words within Hyped. So on episode 21, I am joined by this man, Cal, who I've met twice now in real life, hung out with him. He is a fucking gem, good dude, humble, hardworking. I freaking love this guy. Cal, how are you doing?
I appreciate that, bro. I'm doing super well. I'm glad that we could finally make this happen. I'm pumped.
Let's go, dude. So how we started off is what we're grateful for. So what are you grateful for today?
Yeah, so I thought I'd kind of stick to the Web3 theme, and I am grateful for all the relationships I've made to date in Web3. Yeah, I'm just kind of grateful. You talk about the in real life experiences, to have met you, to have met so many people who I can say have had positive impacts on my life and lifelong friends, and I'm grateful for those relationships.
Let's go, dude. I love it. So we get straight into it and we go straight into your origin story. So give me the origin story of who Cal is, where you came from as far as like when you were a kid up to now, and then
Yeah.
how you got into Web3.
Yeah. So, I'm Canadian, but I was born in Thailand. I grew up moving around every couple of years. So actually, I've lived in London, I've lived in Singapore, I've lived in Dubai, I've lived in Hong Kong. And then I ended up moving to Canada maybe 5 years ago, from Dubai. And so I've been in Edmonton, Alberta ever since. And, always loved travel. Been an athlete, soccer specifically, kind of played college soccer, played for pro academies as a kid, and just loved to compete. And yeah, I mean, I was kind of into crypto in 2017, threw a bit of money at ETH, always just kind of liked alternate investments. I didn't throw enough money in ETH to like, you know, make it big in 2017
Yeah.
because I was a youngin still, but I was dabbling around, and then yeah, I think it must have been end of 2019, early 2020, kind of just as the pandemic was kind of taking off. I was spending a lot of time on Clubhouse. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the app, but
Yeah.
like early days Clubhouse, there were so many conversations around like, what is an NFT? Why are people spending money on pictures? Why are these communities forming? What's going on? And I was just like, holy fuck, like this is dope. What is happening? So I just spent like legit. I remember spending 2-3 weeks just like popping in these Clubhouse spaces and just listening and just fascinated by people saying like, hey, I want this hoodie trait. Oh my God, me and the boys got this like, and it was just fascinating. And then I'm like, damn, like people are actually expressing themselves and it's culturally relevant, these so-called NFTs. So then I'm like, yeah, I gotta dive down this rabbit hole. And yeah, I mean, I kind of, again, I probably spend another week or two just reading, looking at the biggest sales to date on the blockchain, familiarizing myself with smart contracts, ETH, all that. And then, yeah, kind of dove in with an investment, hit it big right away in terms of like 100x. Like the first thing I was in Curio Cards, which was the first. I'm not sure if you're familiar, but the first
Yeah.
um essentially NFT on IPFS on ETH. And I like right after I got in with a decent amount of money, Gary started talking about him, and obviously then I kind of started rolling, and I was just like, and I kept seeing the floor price increase, and I'm like, this is insane. Like I was not in it for the money like this, but like what is going on? And obviously I don't think I sold. I forget what exactly I did. But yeah, it was just like, holy shit, like there's a lot happening. There's a lot of volume. There's a lot of people. It's growing. And yeah, I haven't looked back since. I think that I went full time Web3 in January of this year, which is crazy in itself in terms of like I was in school and I was like, damn, like I really love what's going on. I really love the space. I've always been a massive sports fan. So yeah, kind of everything sort of happened and transpired over the last 6 months, and I'm pumped. But apologies, like if you've said this story on previous pods, but I would love to hear like just your tidbit of how you got into Web3. Um,
All right,
let me hear the
I'll tell mine, but then we're gonna go back into yours because yours is fascinating for sure. So, shit. So we're in 2022. So 2020, probably like November, maybe. It's probably honestly October. I followed Gary religiously for like the last 9 years. So I had just had my second son, and that was like the hardest time of me and my wife's life. Like we were so freaking busy. Like the transition from one kid to two kids was like the hardest thing for us. So
Yeah,
I kind of like wasn't listening to Gary that much, and wasn't that like deep in him.
I got
And but he was still talking about it, right? He was talking about buy
you. Yeah,
ETH. He kept saying in November, buy ETH, buy ETH. I'm like, yeah, okay, what? I don't care. Like I'm not whatever this is. Like I don't have a bunch of cash. Like what I
yeah,
mean, I'm balancing having a kid and shit. And I was like, ETH was like fucking $600 or something like that. I don't even remember how low it was.
yeah, yeah.
So, anyways, then fast forward, my middle son's probably 6 months old. I think we're in like March now.
Okay.
We're getting the hang of it. I got more time. I'm really back into the Gary thing. I'm listening to his shit. I'm back in the business side.
Yeah,
He's like, buy ETH. I'm coming out with an NFT project. And I'm like, okay, what the fuck's going on? Like I need to, what is this? I need to look into this. Like if Gary's been making this noise about it.
yeah,
So I'm like, okay. I start diving in. I start researching. And I'm like, okay, this is interesting. I fucking like it. Anything Gary's doing, I was pretty much like, if Gary's doing it, I believe in it.
man.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So then it was like April. I think he like announced that he was launching in May. And so I started buying ETH a little bit at a time. And then like it was a long process for me. Like I was still pretty busy with the kids. So I never like
yeah.
transferred it, and it was all kinds of fuckery. And then he's like, we're dropping next week. And I'm like, fuck, I need to buy ETH, and ETH's fucking $4,000. And
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, fuck. Well, I need to buy half an ETH is all I can afford.
Okay.
So I bought the half an ETH. I transferred it from my I don't remember whatever I transferred. Oh, from my fucking Coinbase to my MetaMask. Literally
Yeah.
took 13 days. So all of the core VFriends sold out. So
Okay.
I was like, I was like, I can't afford one.
Yeah.
So I was like, I told my wife, I was like, I found $2,000. Like we need to buy another half ETH. Like I'm not missing this. Scrounged together $2,000. Fucking bought another half ETH, and it took 7 days to transfer that half ETH this time.
Okay.
And I literally bought my rare VFriend on the last day before they sold out. They sold out that
That's
day.
amazing.
And so that was just freaking crazy. And then honestly, dude, I did nothing. I bought it and I did nothing for like probably till August. And then
Okay.
I was like,
Okay.
I was still like following along with Gary. Like he would post all about it. He was posting about apes. He was posting about punks. But I was just like, I just didn't have the time to really be involved. And then in August, I was just like, well, I should probably like really get into this. You know what I mean? I have an asset that is in this. Why am I not deep into it? And then like the rest is history. I got deep in. First like 5 projects I bought were rugs. And so the rest is history. Dude. I fucking love it. You know what I mean?
That's a dope story. Yeah, that's amazing that you were able to get on the last day too. That's fire.
It was cool because I just remember like telling my wife, like she knows how much Gary like meant to me and like it impacted me and both of our lives. And
Yeah.
I was just like, I have to buy this. Like, I don't even know why, but I was like, I have to buy it. And she was supportive. And I remember so vividly, we were upstairs Yeah, my middle son was probably like 6, 7 months old, so he was like barely crawling. My older son was probably like almost like 2.5. He was running around. We're upstairs, and that's where my computer or my desktop is. And I'm just like, I don't know what to pick. And we just like went through together, and I chose like because there was a lot of rares at that time still
Yeah.
available, and I got to I choose the balance beetle, and
Okay.
I fucking love it, dude, because I'm always searching for more balance in my life. So it's like perfect for
Yeah.
me, and yeah, dude. So we're fucking riding. So okay,
Yeah.
so I love the fact that you got in Clubhouse days. So tell me a little bit how that transitioned to Twitter. Like so what was Clubhouse Spaces like? Like could just any you just join like a Twitter space or
Yeah. It was legit the same. It was super. I legit think what happened was like everyone from Clubhouse, when the time came, moved over to Twitter when it sort of became more main. I don't want to say mainstream, but more well known that NFT Twitter is a thing. Let's go use Twitter. Let's conduct spaces on there. So yeah, I mean pre Twitter Space days, Clubhouse was like it was mostly just people shit disturbing, like, "Oh, you see this? Look at this. Punks are alpha." Like, is mostly people just saying what's on their mind and just kind of jamming on NFTs in general, like, PFPs, why a PFP matters. Super like, there were some that were super educational, and then there were some that were super shilly bullshit, and there was no in between. And so I hit them both just to get both perspectives and then form my own opinion. So I was able to kind of see bad actors, see genuine people, and just kind of feel everything out. Because to your point, like I think you haven't been in the NFT space long enough if you haven't been rugged. Um, so yeah, it was kind of one of those things where the people early days were like, "Fuck, like there's a lot of money to be made. Should we drop some? Let's start a project. Let's do this. Let's do that." So yeah, felt like 100 miles an hour. And then once the summer of 2020 happened with the ETH being a 4K and like V Friends dropped and the boom, I mean, that was crazy. That was like 3 months of just everyone was making money. You could throw money at anything. People were delusion. Like, yeah, hindsight 2020, looking back, it's like some of those assets that most of us probably had. It's like, I just spent 5 grand on a photo of a penguin, and it doesn't. And I don't know the team. I'm not invested. Like, it's just like it's insane. And most of us are insane in a
yeah.
good way to be in this and to believe in it and just early adopters of the tech and NFTs in general. I think that obviously we had PFP summer, and that was one thing in itself. And I think that we're now moving towards actual utility and different. And obviously, the Gary preaches that, and um, we love that at VSP. But yeah, I mean, I'm excited for where we're going, and I think that we're weeding projects that shouldn't have made the amount of money that they made out, essentially,
Yeah.
because you got to treat them
Yeah,
like
for
business.
sure.
So, yeah,
So
that's kind
what
of
was your so let's okay, so I have a few questions. So what was your biggest win? What was your biggest flip? Like what's
my
your biggest win?
my biggest win. My biggest win was definitely turning an app the first curio card in Apple. I bought it for like point 0.2 ETH, and I probably sold it for 9.
Wow.
I want to
Damn.
say that's my biggest win. Yeah, that's point 0.2 ETH to
But
9.
you were in Wolf Game, right?
I was
Did
never
you
in
make
Wolf
good
Game.
money
No,
off that? Oh no.
no. I didn't make no. So like AJ was big into that, and we would talk about it, and I was like, I would be in the Discord every day, just like seeing what's popping. I was kind of like reporting on it for him a little bit. Um, the one project that I was in big that I was up and I never sold, and I'm not. It's whatever, and I'm still in it. Is I don't know if you're familiar with Magic Treasure DAO, and it's on layer 2. It's on Arbitrum. John Patton
No,
is
but I
the
think
founder.
yeah. I
Um,
think we talked about it, to be honest.
Yeah, we might
Yeah.
have.
I
Yes,
didn't know about it.
Small Brains,
Yeah. Oh
is
yeah,
the main
yeah.
project over there. But yeah, Magic, um, was one of those tokens, kind of like Wool, that like it got up to $8. I know a bunch of people were in early, like myself, for what, like 30 cents, 40 cents. it's all staked now and locked for a year, and it was at $8, and now it's probably at 30 cents again. But yeah, I mean, I like John. Like I like the founder. I like John. I think he's building something cool, a decentralized gaming platform. I think if he executes on the vision, um, I'm long term bullish on that still. But yeah, we'll see. It's tough with tech and keeping demand and engagement. I mean, it's a full job in itself. So we'll see.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Okay.
definitely the 0.2 to 8, 9 ETH. I would have to check. But yeah, it was that. How about you? What was your biggest win?
My biggest flip was probably I flipped a Corky for like 3.5 ETH.
Okay.
So that was my
Okay.
biggest flip. Honestly, the only other like I've definitely had opportunities to make flips.
Yeah.
I think now, like I think if you could, even in this market that we're in right now, like if you had really like 20 ETH, like
For sure.
you could make some crazy money, man. Because if you're in deep like every day and you're an unemotional trader and you just trade for
Yeah.
profit, you just watch projects and you just buy 20 things at 0.02, you sell them all at 0.06. Like it's pretty honestly easy if you have that liquid. But to be honest, I don't think I would ever get to that amount of liquid because I would buy like another VFriend or something. Like I would want to, like my goal is to buy 10 VSPs. Like I have all different kinds of goals that I want to have. And so
Yeah.
I don't really know. Like I'm not in it for the money, to be
I'm
honest.
with you. I'm the same.
Unless I
Yeah.
make like, $500,000, like then it's like, that's like life-changing money for me where I can like go take my family and like at least do something else. But like, I mean, the chances of that happening is so slim. It's like I never had focused on the money. And I think like in November of last year, my VFriend was probably worth over $100,000 and I just didn't even sell it. So,
Yeah.
it's like I don't regret it at all.
No.
I actually bought in Jay is kind of funny. So I bought in January. Me and my dad co-own a second VFriend, and we bought it for like 65K. So we're down super bad on that, but like whatever, it doesn't even matter to
Yeah.
us.
Yeah.
So yeah. So tell the audience a little bit because I don't know if they all know, but you work for Vayner Sports. So
Yeah.
talk a little bit about how you got into that and how that all happened.
Yeah. Yeah. So it would have been February of this year. And AJ, founder of Vayner Sports, Gary's brother, was looking for an NFT proxy and just kind of threw a tweet out and was like, "Yo, like I want to hire someone to be like my NFT proxy. Kind of look through projects, send all the alpha, uh, like monitor sentiment, all that kind of stuff." And I was doing that for a few other people, projects anyway, kind of curating these daily reports. And so I was just like, I threw my name in there. I think I DM'd him. And what happened was a bunch of people applied. I think it was like 100, 200 people applied. And they shortlisted to five. And I get hit up and it's like, yo, like you've been shortlisted. Like we want you to do a sample report. So me and I knew kind of the projects AJ was in. And to be fair, besides Wolf Game, we were kind of in the same things. So I was kind of already monitoring those anyway. So like, yeah, I was just kind of went in, created this daily report, went super in depth, sent that through, and then the next day, his assistant at the time, Garrett, hits me up. He's like, "Yo, like, can you have a conversation tomorrow? Like, AJ wants to call you." I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah," and gives me a shout. He's like, "I'd love to bring you on as my NFT proxy." And actually, how I saw that, I don't even think I didn't see that post on AJ's Twitter. Someone quote tweeted that and was like, "Yo, like this would be such an amazing opportunity to start off with in Web3 and to kind of grow from there." And so I just saw it and replied, wanted to
No
go
way.
that route because I was already doing it. And then yeah, ended up getting the gig and kind of did that solidly for a month for him. And then it kind of merged into he hit me one day. He's like, "Yo, Cal," he's like, "We're launching VSP." He's like, "I want you to like be on the team. I want you to be involved. I want you to come full time." And I was just kind of like, "Give me the pitch." And he just all he said was like sports, Web3, and I was like, "Fuck, I'm sold." Just because kind of those were my two passions blended in one. So yeah, March of this past year, I kind of went full time at Vayner Sports, and we've been rolling ever since, and it's been amazing.
So what is your official title for VSP?
My official title is Director of Tech Partnerships. Um, so yeah, that's my official title. I am I'm in Canada right now, obviously. And I'm trying to make the move out to the US. I know we've talked about that a little bit. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I'm hopeful and I'm super grateful for, the opportunity to be in the role I'm in. And yeah, so my role is director of tech partnerships, trying to get out of the States soon. But man, I mean, you know the space. Like you wear so many different hats every day. There's a
Yeah.
bunch of things happening. I like to say mostly like if someone in real life were to ask me, I don't like to get too much into the technical aspect in terms of like what we're building, just because it's so. If someone doesn't know kind of what Web3 is and what's going on, it's hard to explain. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's one of those things where I normally would just say like, yeah, business development and operations at Vayner
Yeah.
Pass kind of thing, which essentially is what it is as well. So yeah, all of us on the team wear multiple hats, and it's a fun group to work with every day. And man, I see it as like building a long term business, and it's startup culture, right? Because we just launched, and it's so fun to be able to kind of connect with the community. And obviously, like we met at VCon, and I know we didn't talk too much, but you showed up to the pop up VSP thing,
Yeah.
and yeah, I mean that was fun in New York as well, and I just like I'm excited for the in real life experience to come, and just over the years, and being able to say like, yo, NATO, remember 10 years ago when we were at VCon, and now like we're all jamming full time, we're the most
Yeah.
in the space. It's fucking grow. Like, yeah, I think we'll get there. And so yeah, I'm excited for what's to come, but also just for right now, man, just being the present. And honestly, like you to give you your flowers, like legit, man. I don't think there's anyone who's louder than you. I fucking love the dancing video. It hypes me up. I mean, man, I remember one. I joined you. It was like a Friday night. I was on the golf course, and my one buddy who's not into Web3, but he was in New York, and he met you, and he's like, "Yo, like that NATO guy is crazy, man, crazy energy." And I was golfing with him on like a Friday. We had a couple other people with us, and I'm like, "Yo, like you remember NATO?" He's like, "Yeah, the guy that says we're riding." And I was like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah." I'm like, I'm enjoying his face right now. And like you tee him up or whatever. And he's like, okay, fucking do it. And yeah, man, it was just like everyone there was like, yo, like such good vibes. So yeah, man, I just wanted to kind of say that on your flowers. But
I really appreciate that. Yeah, man, I'm really excited. Like, uh, I've been telling like my close friends in the space. Like, did you meet Dan? Dan the Lost Boy? He makes music. He
I
made
did.
like the V Friends. Okay, so
Yeah, yeah.
I think he made a VSP song actually,
You
but
did. Yeah, yeah.
he's like I'm really close with him, so I talk to him quite a bit, almost every day. And I was just telling him like, dude, I was like, I got some pretty big guests coming up. Obviously, I talked to you about that, and I was like, this podcast is gonna age so fucking well, man. I was
Oh
like,
no.
in 5 years, like we're gonna look back and like you said, like you're gonna like the thing I tell people is like I've had big names, I've had small names. Like that's not the point of this podcast. The point of this
Yeah.
podcast is to interview people that I like truly had a connection with, genuine people, kind people, like somebody that I want to highlight in the space. And I just think like all of the guests have been bangers, and it's just going to be
Yeah.
so sick to look back on this in 3 to 5 to 10 years. And like you said, bro, be like in NYC and be like, yo, fucking just at VCon, if there's a VCon in 10 years, be like, yo, 10 years ago, we were fucking in the basement of this bar, just
Yeah.
literally just chopping it up.
Yeah.
First VSP event. Like I will literally never forget that, dude.
No, and that's like my point in terms of like so many people, even people who I've introduced to the space, kind of are in it for like are struggling to connect with communities, are struggling to connect with individuals. So they're like, man, I just want to make money. And at the end of the day, like for me, like all my NFTs could go to zero, and I'm so appreciative and grateful for again all the people that I've met that like this has been so worth it in terms of like personal ROI than like
Yeah.
any money that I could make,
Yeah.
in my opinion. So that's kind of where my head's at. But yeah, man, I'm excited. I'm excited to see what'll come in. Yeah, I'm pumped for you. I'm pumped for the podcast as well. I think that again, you got a dope setup here, and yeah, keep the guests rolling, keep the vibes high. And yeah, I have no doubt that this will be a leading NFT podcast, Web3 podcast, and just personal development fucking podcast going forward.
Let's go, dude. All right, so let's get into it. So the way that we do it is we go word by word, and so we start off with happiness. So I'm going to share my
Okay.
screen. I'm gonna read to you my favorite definition of success.
Okay.
So I love this definition. So it's by Ralph Waldo Emerson. Success:
Okay.
to laugh often and much, to win the respect of intelligent people and the affection of children, to earn the appreciation of honest critics and endure the betrayal of false friends, to appreciate beauty, to find the beauty in others, to leave the world a bit better, whether by a healthy child, a garden patch, or a redeemed social condition, to know that one life has breathed easier because you have lived. This is to have succeeded.
I love that.
How do you feel after that, dude?
That just inspires me, man. I'm hyped. Yeah, I think that success too is just such a misconstrued word in the sense that like success is different for everyone, right? And I think at the end of the day, like as long as you're happy, you're successful, in my opinion. So yeah, I mean that's a long way to say that, but yeah, the H, man, happiness. I think that as long as you're good and you're healthy and you're happy, I think you're successful. And I just hope that like because I've been able to do it, I just hope that more individuals are able to kind of branch out and do what the fuck they want in life and not,
Yeah.
work the boring job or get stuck in the shitty relationship or be in the same spot and be unhappy. I just hope that again people are able to kind of grow and prosper and through Web3, but specifically like again through these relationships, mate. Like my perspective has changed on things because I met people like you, people like
Yeah.
NFT lover, like bro, like so many
Yeah.
people. Like, we've just had
Yeah.
conversations. So yeah, no, that's an amazing definition.
Let's go, dude. All right. First question is, what makes you happy every day?
What makes me happy every day? Um, honestly, like the space obviously makes me happy because I'm in it 24/7. So I wake up, and I'm probably one of the first things I do is get on Twitter. I mean, saying
Yeah.
good morning makes me happy. Um, my family, and friends. I think that those relationships are super important. And yeah, I mean, just I would say those two things, man. I'm genuinely like a very positive, happy. I don't think I wake up and am negative or down. So I'm just happy to fucking be breathing, man, and to actually be able to wake up every morning and do what I like. And man, I'm young. I want to travel. I want to do big things. I want to fucking just see the world. And I think that I'm just happy for the present, and I'm happy for just continuing to build and grow.
Let's go, dude. I love it. I love it. So talk about your family a little bit because you're pretty close with your family, right?
Yeah. I mean, like, so just like growing up, right, moving around every couple of years with the change. So like when I was younger, we'd move around, and every time you're leaving a bunch of friends behind, right? Which is good and bad, being young, tough, but also being able to develop new relationships is a good skill to have. And
Mhm.
I can say I have friends all across the world now, which is dope. But I think what it was my family was super close because it was always like the constant was us. Like so I have two younger sisters and then my parents. And again, the five of us moving around every couple of years, we always had to start over. And like I said, the only constant was us. So, and we didn't really see any extended family. My extended family is originally from Canada, but like rarely would we be back in Canada. So yeah, it was just like my immediate family, the five of us, and we were just kind of always jamming, growing up. So yeah, we're definitely kind of everyone's kind of gone on to do their own things, and I'm pumped for what my sisters are doing and for what my parents are doing, and I just kind of want to like man, I hope to help contribute to my parents' retirement kind of thing. Like I just want to. I think they've given a lot for me, in terms of like helping me in my sports career and just be successful and preaching values, from a young age. And I think that yeah, I mean, I I'm super close, with them, but in a way that like we don't talk every single day, but like when we do have a conversation, it's just man, it's like fuck, like
Yeah, yes, that's dope. So, what? First question is why? So, why did you guys move around so much?
Yeah, it was my dad's work. He worked for a British bank in like human
Okay.
resources, and he was like leading up like talent management, talent development, and yeah, it was just like the position he was in. It was like every couple of years, like, hey, we need you to go to Dubai. Hey, head to London. Hey, head here. And the last stint from Dubai, he was being asked to move to either one of two spots, Ghana or Johannesburg in South Africa. And like everyone we talked to was like, yo, like my sisters are both younger than me. And everyone was like, yo, like with the family, like three young kids, you probably don't want to go to either of those spots. Um, Ebola actually hit Ghana hard like the year we were supposed to move there.
Oh
So
shit.
that would not have been ideal at all. And
Yeah.
I have lots of friends from South Africa, and it's one of those things where like safety like you're driving around in bulletproof cars for the most part. Like you got to shut the garage right away, or someone's gonna rob your shit. Like so, yeah. So then it was like, hey, like, and I think myself like at 14, 15 years old, I was sort of having an identity crisis in terms of like going to a new school. Everyone was like, yo, like where are you from? And I'd be like, Canada, and they'd be like, where in Canada? I'd be like, fuck, I've been in Canada like 4 times. I'm from, and so I would pick, like, I'd be like, yo, today I'm from Toronto. Tomorrow I'm from Vancouver. Oh, I'm from Montreal. And so, like, but I didn't have like a quote unquote, like, because I can't say I was born in Thailand. I'm not Thai. Can't say I'm from Dubai. So it's like, fuck. And my
Yeah.
parents are Canadian. So the Canadian citizenship got passed on. And it's just one of those things where, like, they're like, I think we should give the kids a little sense of what it feels like to be proper Canadian. And so yeah, I think that kind of pushed the move back to Canada, and I'm I'm grateful for coming back. I think that like it's a completely different lifestyle in terms of being an expat and being like a local. Like you take things for granted in both situations. Um, and yeah, I mean, it's for me, it's at where I'm at in life. Like especially here, it's a bit too comfortable. Like I need 100 miles an hour. Like I like new things. I love change. Like growing up like that, I love change. So, I want to move around all the time. I like meeting new people, but I just love change and adapting and having to kind of figure shit out on the fly. And so, yeah, I mean, where Edmonton is not the best spot for that. So, yeah, we're out here riding, but that's how I moved around all the time.
Are you still trying to move to like New York, or do you want to go to Miami? I know we had talked about those
Yeah,
two
yeah, yeah.
places.
No, yeah, I think New York. Yeah, as a young, I'll say as a young bachelor who's trying to grind it out in my career and in the field. Um, yeah, I want to be in New York for 5, 10 years. But yeah, I might head to Toronto, biggest city in Canada, and be on the East Coast. Easier in terms of, so I'm up at like 6, 7 a.m. every day for meetings, which is I'm more of a night, but I like to grind out at night. So being up early is
Yeah.
not ideal. I'm tired all the time, but yeah. So bro. I mean, whatever happens, happens. I'm figuring it out. Like I'm excited
are
for the next step, but I'm also pumped about right now.
are
Um,
most people on the VSB team in New York, or
I would say
that's where
everyone's in
AJ
New York.
lives, right?
Yeah, everyone's in New York. I think like legit everyone on the Vayner Sports. I'm the only person in the whole Vayner Sports ecosystem in terms of every employee who's in Canada, who's not in the US.
Oh shit.
So like Vayner as a whole, like Vayner Media obviously has offices like in Singapore, in London. That's an international company. Vayner Sports is on the other side, and it's its own entity. And Vayner Sports has obviously the New York office, and then they've got something in LA, a small one in LA, and a small one in Texas, maybe. And but legit, it must have 50, 60 employees. I want to say, don't quote me on that. All 59 of them are in the US, and I'm just out
Yeah.
here in Canada, um, which like I'm super, you know, I'm grateful for that they like want to take that chance
Yeah.
and wanna, like
Yeah.
kind of keep me on and have me get to the states and have me grow in my role. And yeah, I take it. I think it's cool that I'm the only person not from the states in Vayner Sports.
That's
Um,
dope. No, that is dope, dude. I think that is cool. I really want to get into the next questions, man, but I want you to tell me a little bit about your soccer career because I think that's interesting. I played college football,
Okay.
so
Where'd you play?
anybody that played that level of sport, I played up in Northern California for 2 years,
Okay.
and then I tore my ACL, and that was it. I had a full ride scholarship. This is a funny story. So like a lot of people I've interviewed are from Canada. A lot of people in Web3 are from Canada, so
Yeah.
I have a lot of
Yeah.
close friends in Canada now, and my second year, I got a full ride scholarship to transfer to a D1 school in Canada. So I was fired up on the West Coast. I don't even remember where it was at though, but
You don't know what school? Because I would
no,
know.
I don't
What, you know
remember
what city
after
you
this.
were in?
Fuck, I don't. It
You
was
know.
so long ago, probably
Yeah.
8, 9 years ago. I'll find it. I'll tell you
Yeah.
after.
Yeah.
But I like had a full ride. I was so pumped, dude. I had like just gotten all conference. It was just fire. Like the whole shit was just going it was going perfect. Tore my ACL, bro. Tore my ACL, MCL, meniscus. The next morning, dude, Sunday fucking morning, they pulled my scholarship. I was like, yo,
Really?
I was like, this is how the real world works. I was
Yeah.
like, let's go. I wasn't gonna be in the NFL. I'm not tall enough. So I just moved back home, and it was like honestly the best thing that's ever happened to me. Like my dream
Yeah.
was to play college football, so I did that.
Yeah.
I came back home, reconnected with my wife. You know what I mean? The rest is history. So like I can't. It was like a blessing, and it honestly showed me how the world works. It was like next up. I was like,
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
didn't even wait till Monday. So tell me a little bit about your soccer career.
Yeah, yeah. So, well, so my family's like my grandpa played in the NHL. I had a couple uncles played in the MLB. My other cousin was on the golf. He was on the PGA Tour for a bit. So my family's always kind of been big into sports, and I always played baseball, hockey, and soccer. It was one of those things where I think it was like I was like 12, 13. And it was like you got to pick one, and I was the best at soccer, and I liked it the most. So I'm like, hey, let's do soccer. But yeah, so I would played in like pro academies, like from probably like legit like 5, 6 years old to like 15, 16. And so we would like it was like travel teams like in Dubai and stuff like that. We go to England, we play teams. And then I came to Canada and was playing. I live in Alberta, so I was playing on like Team Alberta, which is like the kind of the best players essentially in the state. Um, and we would go play other provinces, and then we would we played like Whitecaps as like an MLS team, and like I would be on trial for the Whitecaps academy. I actually played with Alfonso Davies, is the biggest success story to come from Edmonton. I'm not sure if you're familiar, but so we kind of played together for a little bit and then played against him sometimes, and he at like 15, 16 years old like signed pro for Whitecaps. And plays on Bayern now, which is like, in my opinion, a top 3 club in the world. He's won a Champions League. And yeah, he's from Edmonton, like where I'm from, and we would always kind of jam and play together. So yeah, he was an amazing player at the time. But yeah, it was like, hey, like there were definitely other players, and yeah, it was just what an amazing come up by him. But yeah, I played on FC Edmonton, which is a local pro team on the academy, and then I went to the school here, D1 U of A, and was 17 years old as a true freshman playing, and was just like, hey, like it's such a confidence game, right? So like if I had like a really good season, was bossing it, like I would get offers from here and there and be able to, go to different clubs across Europe, and not in the top division, but like, Div 2, Div 3, and go trial and go play. But as a North American, each team in like Europe only has 3 imports. So you got to be one of the best 3 players on the team. And I'm a defender, I'm a fullback. So normally like how it works in footy is like they take those chances on attacking players, just because like a 17, 18-year-old defender, you're at the back, you make a mistake, the other team scores. You're at the front, you try things, you make mistakes. Nothing, you still got 2 full, to put it in layman's, you still got 2 full lines of defense essentially,
Yeah.
before you get the goal. So yeah, it was tough. And then the kind of COVID happened during kind of my second year, and 2 years we didn't play. And so it was one of those things where like, hey, like tough. It was tough mentally, like legit. I remember being here and they were still playing in the US. They were still playing. And I reached out to a few teams. Actually, like I talked to the Duke coach. I was gonna go to Duke.
Wow.
But yeah, it just didn't make sense in terms of like, man, I was still 18. I like didn't really want to leave home, and US is a different animal in terms of like got it. And 21 there. It was just like, I was enjoying my time here. And yeah, man, it kind of COVID happened, and like the US schools were still playing. And I remember like Can West and U Sports, which is like NCAA, but in Canada, was like, yeah, like we're not doing any athletics this year. And all of us had trained like the whole summer, and like
Yeah.
kind of fit, and we were going into season ranked number one. So we were like the top dog, like we were top dogs going in, and we had a really good team. And yeah, we didn't get to play that season, and then the same thing happened the next year. And yeah, so that was tough. That kind of halted a bunch of people's careers, and I kind of kept at it, like just took that as a chance to work out every day to grow, because I never got that time previously, because playing every day you can't hit the gym, just because your body's gonna deteriorate. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, and then yeah, man. I mean, what I played, it was my last year, not this year, but the year prior. Had a good season, and then yeah, I mean, the aspiration was always to go pro. But I had a hip injury. I have hip impingement, so like I got to get chiro done every day, like after games and stuff, to actually like be able to play again.
Oh
And so
shit.
like, yeah, I mean, I still think there's a world where I play at a high level in the next couple of years. I'm just so passionate about like what I'm doing right now that I don't really want to jeopardize that and go out. But I still play kind of in the top like semi-pro division here. Actually, we had our last game last night in the championship final. We lost 3-2, but I bagged both our goals. So I mean, but not.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I just love competing. Like I think I said it,
Yeah.
but I just love sports, and I find business is like sport, man.
Yeah.
Like you just
Yeah, man.
fucking compete. I think and if you're passionate about something and see yourself as a competitor and want to win, it's a win-win. So
Yeah.
yeah, well, that was super long-winded, but yeah,
No, I love it, dude. I love competition as well. I think it just breeds excellence. Literally, like I've been a competitor since I was playing football since I was 5. So just like you, like
what
just
position were you?
bred in it. Uh oh fuck. When I was little, I played everything: defensive end, defensive
Okay,
line, offensive line. When I was in college, I played offensive line.
okay,
I really wanted to be a fullback.
yeah,
Like if I would have really continued, I would have been a fullback, but yeah, I wanted to, I was like, dude, I'll go to the NFL to be a long snapper. I don't give a fuck. But you
yeah,
have to
yeah.
literally be 6 foot tall. They will not even
Really?
take you if you're not 6 foot
Okay,
tall. Yeah. So one of my coaches in college played in the NFL, and he was a punter. And he was like, you should go, you should try to go. But then he was like, you're not gonna make it because you're not 6 foot. So I was like, whatever, dude, it is what it is. It
yeah,
keeps going. And yeah, like you said, dude, competition. And I think like the NFT space is like that, dude. Like
for sure.
just literally today, I was on a space. You know who Shill and Villain is?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So I was on his space, and I was giving him shit because I did more TikToks than him today. And I
yeah,
was like, I got fucking 3 kids, bro. I got a wife. I'm fucking a good husband, a good dad. I run a business, and I'm doing more fucking TikToks than you. And honestly, in all fun, but like at the same time, it's like, dude, I'm out here like because I wanna be the best, and
yeah,
not the best for any amount of money, just to literally like my mission's different, right? I want to make the world a better place, and so uh, I'm so driven by that, and yeah, it's just gonna get wild, bro. Like we had already
yeah,
talked about, like it's just gonna get crazy. So we're fucking riding. Let's get into the next question. The next question is, what is the happiest moment of your life so far? I'll do that.
yeah. Okay, so like I don't have any kids or anything, so that's an easy answer. I can't say that.
I think you're better. Honestly, dude, the best answers. Well, answers from people that have kids are always the kids. So
Yeah,
everybody that doesn't have kids, it's an interesting answer. I
it
do.
is.
I really enjoy it.
It is. I wish I had prepped for that one a little bit, because I could have come up with some good. The happiest moment of my life.
This will be
It's
good. It'll be
it's
raw.
it's got to be like, and I'm probably gonna hit you like tomorrow and be like, "Fuck, this was happier in this moment." But um, it's gotta be. I was in. It was like 5 years ago. I'll just set the scene because it was just the whole it wasn't like specifically anything that happened that it was like just, but I was just super just genuine in life. Generally happy. I was in the Maldives, which is like the most beautiful spot you could go. And it was just like this. I was with my family and there were a few friends there and stuff, and it was just like this like rooftop kind of dinner, with the sunset, and legit like I just remember looking out and it was just like holy fuck, like the ocean, sunset in the background, good people, great food, and I was just like life is good. And I just remember like yeah, I think we legit ate too much, went to bed right after that, but I was just like super just happy and just like fuck man, like the little moments, the small things like this, sharing like an experience like that, um, was a super happy moment. I honestly don't want to say it was the happiest moment of my life, but the happiest moment that comes to mind. And then let me hit you with something. But yeah, there's definitely something that happened that I was like, yo, like that is just, but I can't think of anything right now.
No, that's cool, man, because I think that's super meaningful. I think that is super meaningful. And those moments are like, dude, like you said, dude, like something you're never going to forget. So,
is yours the kids? I'm assuming.
yeah. Like, I
You
think it's
answered
kind of
this
a
question
cop
before
out.
on the
Have
pod?
I what?
Answered this question before on the pod?
I don't think so, man. I don't think I have. A lot of people don't ask me any questions back, which is totally fine because I'm a listener, so I
Okay.
love it.
I'm just curious.
Um,
I'm just a curious guy, so I want to. Yeah.
yeah, so like if we're gonna put that aside, right? Because like I think
Yeah.
like just in
It's
general, right?
easy.
That's like
Yeah.
such an easy answer. Like,
But that's tough though because you said happiest moment. Now you can't say you have 3 kids?
yeah.
Yeah, that's
It's
tough.
like what if I would pick one of them, right? And
Yeah,
so,
but sure.
uh,
You'd almost have to move away from that then. If
yeah, man, probably to be honest with you, dude, like the happiest moment of my life,
it's a tough question.
probably
To,
it is for sure. I think probably like fuck man, probably when I like reconnected with my wife. I would say that. Like
okay.
we like our story's pretty wild and have you seen Boy Meets World?
I definitely have. Not I'm it's
Do you
not
so
coming.
like Corey and Topanga, like do you
Yeah,
know
yeah,
any like okay,
yeah.
so basically like I'm such a fucking hopeless romantic, bro. My whole life growing up, I was like I was never like a ladies guy, but I had
Okay.
so many girls that were friends. I was the best wingman. I was just like always super thoughtful. I always wanted to find like that Topanga. Like I wanted to find my fucking rock.
Yeah.
And so my story is pretty funny with my wife. So high school, we were I think I was a junior, she was a sophomore. She walked into my Spanish class. I literally was sitting next to Doughboy, who you've met, is my
Yeah.
fucking best friend in the world.
Yeah.
And I literally saw her. I leaned over to him and I said, I'm gonna fucking marry that girl.
That's amazing.
Wild. She was in a super serious relationship. We were super close friends in high school. I never pulled the trigger. I never made my move.
Yeah.
Anyways, went to college. I played football. She was in a different state. I was like borderline Snapchat famous. So she
Yeah.
used to snap me. And this
Okay.
is like way back. This is like before Snapchat was cool, like
Yeah.
not like what it is now. And
Okay.
then Vine came out. Did you know about Vine?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, for sure.
So like then Vine was wild. We were like I was pretty pretty popular on Vine.
Yeah,
And
bro.
then when I tore my ACL, I didn't have like the best friends in my life. Like Doughboy was on his church mission, so he was out of the country.
Okay.
So I didn't have like a solid support system,
Yeah.
and so it was like the most depressing time of my life when I tore my ACL. And so that was like a super hard experience. So then I moved home, and I was great. I was doing better. She
Yeah.
tore her ACL snowboarding.
Shit. Okay.
So I just snapped her and I was like, listen, if you need anything, you
Yeah.
fucking let me
I
know.
can do
Like
it.
I'm just here to just help
Yeah.
you. And that was it. Like then the
That's
rest is
amazing.
history. And so that's probably like the fact that I had like, I'm pretty religious. I pray for that like my whole
Yeah.
life. And I got that second chance. And it was like there was no
You
chance
were
that I was
missing.
fucking yeah. So
Yeah.
that's honestly probably the happiest moment. Cause then my kids came out of that, right? So
Yeah, yeah. No, that's dope. That's a great answer. And as you were talking through that, I actually thought of at least something that would tie the other moment I said when I'm a massive Chelsea fan, like that's like my
yeah.
Chelsea is a soccer team in
Yeah.
London.
yeah.
And a couple of years ago they won the Champions League, and that was probably the happiest day of my life.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
What did you do? Tell me what you did.
Bro, I cried for a while. Then
Yes, yes.
champagne popped,
Yes.
partying with the guys. Yeah, man. I actually like I that season was a super bad season for Chelsea. Like the manager got sacked, which means like he got sent out of the club like halfway through the season, and their odds to win the Champions League was like insanely low. And I'm just like, fuck it, I believe in them. Let me put like 500, 1,000 on them, and it was like
Oh
a
my god.
massive payout. And then so that coupled with the fact that I just love the club, like so
Yeah,
it
of
was a
course.
good thing.
Yeah.
I think I treat everyone to like a nice dinner, and yeah, that was a good.
Let's go. That might have been your biggest flip, dude. Let's go. That's sick.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
that's fucking awesome. So tell me about some top communities you're involved in Web3 that you really enjoy besides VSP.
Yeah. Yeah, transparently, like I haven't recently just because it's been so full on. And that like I would say that I'm like kind of on Discord, on Twitter, and then kind of on my computer in terms of like meetings and other stuff, like for most of the day, that like once I kind of like wind down at night, it's like I I I do like I go work out, I go for a run, I do other thing, I go play soccer, whatever. I don't love to be on my phone chopping it up in communities anymore because I'm already spending so much time. But to answer that question, like I would say that other like so the first community I got involved with was Subducks, and I'm not like I haven't really followed up in that. I'm not super big. I hope all like I met a bunch of good people in that, so I hope like everyone's doing well. That was one of the early ones I was in, and then like right now I would say what I'm looking at, like in terms of like an NFT collectors, I'm actually focused bigger on like the art right now. In terms of like, I'm looking at like X copy stuff. I'm looking at like Damien Hirst stuff. I'm looking at Gremplin stuff. And so I'm actually, and I'm just so focused on like building the VSP community and just like creating relationships, taking calls with like captains, which are people who have 15 plus passes. And I'm just so focused on that like yeah, honestly, don't have time to spend in a bunch of other communities, but I think another community that I really enjoy, even though I'm not in, I enjoy the Wolf Game community. I think there's a bunch of smart people, dope people. I enjoyed the small brains community. Those people, yeah, those guys are put me on a few things, and that's one of the communities I enjoy the most. And then, yeah, man, I mean, the one of the ones that like I know you're super big in that I like need to dial in and get in is Nifty. Seems like a super solid group. When in New York, AJ was at the Nifty event, and I
Yeah.
rolled because I was going with him to Ape Fest. Like he dipped from there to go to Ape Fest, and we were going together.
Yeah.
And so I rolled like to where it was at, and it just looked vibes. So yeah, that's one of the ones I kind of want to get in. But yeah, man, I want to get back into community engaging in other ones. It's been kind of full on that I haven't been able to. But
What about V Friends? You're not
no,
involved in V Friends at all.
I just made a play a couple weeks ago. I bought a V1. I didn't have a V1. Um
Let's
and
go.
so this one actually and I haven't tweeted about it. I haven't done anything. I want to like kind of like not announce it, but just kind of allude to it whenever. I just didn't feel like I needed to yet. But it was a Toronto St. Louis one.
Oh,
And
let's go.
the first VSP in real life event, like sporting event that I went to and was like the VSP rep at essentially was Toronto Blue Jays against the St. Louis Cardinals. So
Oh man.
just I saw it was on the floor. It was like 5.25 ETH maybe, and I was just like, yo, I got to make that play. So yeah, man, I think the V Friends community is dope, and I don't chop it up in there enough. I think that like the overlap between VSP and VFriends is enough that like I still get most of the VFriends kind of
Yeah.
kickback and exposure through that. But yeah, man, I mean, I'm excited for like VCon this coming year, and yeah, I think I think we're gonna do something with VFriends. A little bit alpha. We're gonna do something with VFriends. I don't know when it's gonna air, but in the next couple weeks you'll hear something potentially. So
No
yeah.
way.
And yeah, I mean, obviously, it's the same ecosystem in terms of like Gary and AJ are brothers.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm bullish on the VFriends community. Are you super involved in, like, are you chopping it up in the Discord? Are you like VFriends Maxi? You know what I mean? Like, are you super involved?
So to be honest, I'm not that involved in the Nifty anymore. I
Oh, you're not?
do
Okay.
enjoy the community. Um, but dude, I started liquidating so much shit when like just the bear happened, and I was
Yeah.
like, I just need to focus on the things like I actually really like lean into and care about.
Yeah,
And
no.
yes, that party was a vibe. Party was crazy, but like, dude, the V friends, like, so I have V friends, VSP. Uh, Fuck, I can't even think of like other things that I'm long term holding, but like that's kind of what I leaned into because like it, what I'm trying to do, what I'm doing here is like honestly, I don't even have time to be in the Vayner Sports Discord, and I love all of you guys, right? I've met
Yeah,
all of you guys. Like I'm never in the VFriend. The VFriends Discord is super overwhelming. There's just too many
seems
people in
like
there.
yeah.
As far as like, there's little like pockets of VFriends I'm
Yeah,
involved in. I would say
yeah,
like I'm tight with. Um, yeah, like I'm just kind of doing my thing. I think on Twitter, man, I'm just like everywhere. I really fuck with D gods. I'm not in the D god. I don't have a D god, but I have a
okay.
Ute
Yeah,
tube. So I'm real fucking bullish on Frank. Frank reminds me of Gary, so I'm like really mega bullish on him.
yeah,
Uh, I've kind of like found a home in that community, like where I just like fucking love chopping it up with those guys, and they're super cool, even though I don't have a D god. Um, but yeah, man, I'm not like in a bunch of stuff because I just realized like I just need to sell. I sold so much stuff, man, like that
yeah.
I just like
That's fair.
wasn't paying attention to. And because like I'm just on a different mission. And so
Yeah,
there are things that I kind of want, but like at the end of the day, like as far as an investment goes for me, I want it to be where I don't have to look at it. I don't have to think about
I
it. I
agree.
know it's going to perform. So like VSP, right? Like I've obviously probably been missing so many raffles, but I got back in this week. I made an effort to like make sure I'm not missing any announcements.
Are you on the
With
text platform?
no, but I will after this
Yeah, you
100%.
gotta
Yeah.
you won't miss anything if you're getting
Oh
text.
my God, that's huge. Yes.
Yeah,
So see, that's why I love Vayner Sports. And then V Friends obviously is like pretty easy to keep up with. And so I'm bullish on that. So one of my goals is to get. I have 5 V Friends 2s. I want 5 more. I
okay.
want to have 10 total Vayner Sports. So like for me, those are my things. Like I don't really want anything else because at
Yeah,
the end of the day, like I believe in Gary and I believe in AJ, right? And I believe in them together. And so it's like there's so much other shit in the space that I like,
for sure.
but you don't have the context of these people, and so
Yeah,
I know that AJ and Gary are going to die for this business, and so that for me, that's all I need. So,
no doubt.
yeah, I'm not that heavily involved in a lot of communities, and
Yeah,
but I'm just leaning into all the stuff that I'm doing on Twitter. You know, the connections, the relationships.
yeah. No, that's fair. That's a great answer. Yeah, I'm with you on that. Just kind of dialing in your own thing and going full force. I respect that.
Fuck yeah, let's ride. So we're going to inspiration. Uh, Fucking one life, dude. We got one life. We got to just live it every day. I just want to say you inspire me, dude. You inspire me with your story. You inspire me the fact that you're working in Web3, the fact that you're fucking just grinding. You inspire me that you're the only dude in Canada from Vayner Sports. So, and you're just a genuine guy. So I said, throw you some flowers.
Thank
Um,
you. I
and
appreciate that.
then I love this question. So, what is one lesson that you've had to learn the hard way in your life?
One lesson that I've had to learn the hard way. Let me think. So that's another good question. Adverse, like what? I'm just trying to think like when the last time um I faced like a extreme amount of adversity. I would say like one thing I had to learn the hard way was to let go of relationships that to individuals that potentially aren't on the same path and mindset and vision that you're on in terms of like um just kind of like a lot of my friends from high school or early days uni potentially like are super complacent and are just super comfortable in where they're at, and which is completely fine. But yeah, it's just like I think that like you're a product of your environment and the people you surround yourself with. And so yeah, I mean, I think that something I had to learn the hard way was how to approach certain relationships and either cut them off or change the dynamic for them to be mutually beneficial and foster and prosper. Sorry, but yeah, that's like a specific example was like I definitely um like cut people off too soon, and they've gone on to change and be a super positive impact on other people's lives, and now we're not as close, and that potentially is my fault. So yeah, that's something that it's that's sorry, it's not like a specific moment, but that's my answer. um
Yeah.
yeah.
So you think so by eliminating people that you thought weren't the best influence, then they turned out to be a good influence and they could have been a better influence in your life?
Yeah, I'm saying like I think now I always give people the benefit of the doubt in terms of I respect immensely kind of what people are going through, and everyone's on a different path and everyone's got their own things going on. And again, I think at a point in my life I was too focused on the path that individuals are on, and like kind of what they liked, where I thought where their priorities were and where mine were, and they weren't in the same place. And we didn't really connect on much else besides like the situation we were in terms of like that being at school or that being through sport or that being through whatever. So yeah, I think and that's something that I've learned, like never be too quick to judge. And I've tried to just eliminate judgment from my life as much as possible. And I think that as a society, we do a bad job at that. Everyone's so quick to judge, and so that's something that kind of I've learned, and I'm trying to continue to grow on. And so yeah, I definitely think that yeah, being too quick to judge someone in the past has deteriorated certain relationships, and now I prioritize legit, man, like all the business relationships I met through this, all the personal relationships, like I feel like I'm in a really good spot, and I feel like most of us are, and so I'm happy. I'm happy that I kind of learned what I did and was able to take that and come out on the other side and come out um in a better spot, I would say.
Yeah, no, I love it. I love it. Takes a lot of humility to grow that and to not judge people, and I think that's what I love about Web3, man. Is like
For sure.
I love when people are doxxed, but when people aren't doxxed, man, like yeah,
Fair
you
play.
can't judge anybody. Like,
No, 100.
and my favorite thing to do is just like leave the ego at the door. Like
Yeah,
it's just like we're all fucking successful people in our own rights, and we've all
for
done
sure.
things, and it's like let's just grow this shit together. Like that's bottom line. And so
No doubt.
I kind of love that culture. And even like you kind of said, like surround yourself with the environment. Even in Web3,
For
you
sure.
surround yourself with those people that really want to like build and grow that. And so um, that's fucking dope. You know what I mean? Like
No
giving,
doubt.
being able to have Josh Loverboy like stay with me in New York. Like I just remember talking to him like the week before on the phone, and I was like, dude, like you're coming. Like, I don't give a fuck.
That's
Like
legit. Yeah,
you're not paying me anything. Like you have to be here. And like he's one of my closest friends in the space, and like we chop it up all the time, and I'm like so happy for him because like really just like leaned into that relationship. So yeah, just that's fucking awesome. I love that. Next question. What do you love about Web3 that inspires you to do it every day?
I love that people come together through Web3. I love that individuals wake up every morning and are able to connect over a certain value or project or community or mission. Um, so yeah, I think that just initially like that's what I love the most about Web3. And then I love that everyone is a creator and a curator, and everyone is able to um, be inspired and take things and do what they individualize them and just create and feel like they can do that and feel like they have a say and feel like they're able to provide value in whatever way that they deem they want to. So that's what I love about Web3.
Let's go. I love it. Yeah, dude. I think anything's possible in Web3, and just the growth is crazy. Do you have someone in your life that's like an inspirational figure or someone that you've looked up to your whole life? Like maybe a role model, an
Role
inspirational
model.
leader?
I mean, transparently, like I've listened to Gary for like 9 years as well. Like I got into sports cards, I got into the flip game because of him. He's definitely a factor why I got into NFTs. So like to see, for me to be like working for Vayner right now and that to come like full circle, is super dope. Um, yeah, I mean, role model, like he was someone I listened to. I've definitely had like um certain coaches in the past that like just or maybe like a teacher that just like their mindset and just perspective on life kind of helped me see and grow. So yeah, my one he actually took me under his wing and is my the job I was kind of in before working through college, but yeah, he ran a sports performance spot and I kind of was brought on as his like right hand man and yeah, just he was a role model in terms of like showing me the business ropes and what it takes to, run a successful startup and just yeah, he showed me a lot. So I would say him or yeah, Gary was an inspiration though as well.
Let's fucking go. I love it. I love it. Listen, what's your favorite inspirational movie? Wait, you're frozen. You're
You got me.
muted. Oh, there we go. Yeah, what's your favorite? Yeah, you're back. What's your favorite inspirational movie?
My favorite inspirational movie, Rudy.
Let's
You know that
go.
movie?
Yeah, of course. Of
Yeah,
course,
bro.
dude.
I yeah, that's the one that's top of mind. That's the one that comes to yeah, Rudy, amazing movie. Football, sports, inspirational. I love that one.
Let's
Short
go.
guy. I mean, yeah, man, that's
Yeah.
amazing. How about you?
Mine is Remember the Titans.
Okay.
I'm pretty much I'm in any kind of like definitely sports movies for me, like underdog stories. Like I
Yep.
Gridiron Gang is huge for me. Dude, even The Longest Yard, it's a fucking
Yeah.
hilarious but
Yeah. Yeah.
inspirational. Uh, there's so many. Radio was an inspirational movie.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, obviously Rudy. There's so many, dude. So many fucking sporting movies. Like Miracle on Ice. I don't know if you ever
Yep.
seen that. That's fucking inspirational. Like I love underdog stories. Like that's the shit I live for. And so uh yeah, like I like to honestly like live my life as an underdog story. Like I just fucking think I'm nobody and I'm just gonna fucking keep going and getting after it every day. Like I'm the last team or something in
Yeah,
the
man.
division. Or I love
That's
it.
the humility. I love that. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's go. So we're into positivity. Huge, dude. Like I said before, I'm on a mission to make positivity louder. There's way too much negativity in this world. So I'm
No
just
doubt.
gonna keep getting after it. So actually last episode was the first time I had like really changed my perspective on positivity in the show because I couldn't
Okay.
like find a good grasp on it, but I've got a
Yeah.
good grasp on it, and this is sick. So what I'm talking about now in positivity is like a positive mindset.
Yep.
So, what I'm going to read to you is a positive mindset is the practice on focusing on the good in any situation. And that doesn't mean just being delusional and,
Yep.
you can be realistic, but no matter what happens, you focus on the good. So tell me about your positive mindset and how that is in your life.
Yeah. I mean, I'm pragmatic. I've dealt with a lot of different adversity and a lot of different moments, and I just think that like I've seen negative like influences on individuals who have been close to me, and I just think that like I've taken that and learned that hey, like legit, we're so lucky to just be fucking living and like to be able to and lucky to be in a first world country, lucky to have internet that works, running water, food, good family. Like there's just several things. So I think it's all perspective, right? Like something could get you down on a day to day, but at the end of the day, like I take it. My mentality is like, is this shit gonna matter a week from now? Is this shit gonna matter a month from now? Is it gonna matter 10 years from now? Fuck no. So why am I worrying about it today? So
Yes.
I mean that's kind of I as much as I'm like live in the present and do kind of everything in the moment, I also have that outlook in terms of like, hey, like setback today, I'm gonna get it, I get after it tomorrow. Like this doesn't matter on it doesn't it happens on Monday, it does not matter on Wednesday, kind of thing. And I think too many people are focused on micro versus macro. And I mean, I'm with you, man. Like I am hoping to get in a spot in the near future where I'm kind of spreading positivity as well. And I just think that it needs to be louder, and you're doing a great job at that. And I think that like individuals who live life and just enjoy the moment and just have a positive outlook on, like everything's so negative, man. Like the news every day, the news is negative. Like the economy's
So
crashing,
bad.
inflate,
Yeah.
like politics. You're never gonna be happy. Whoever you support, you fuck the other side.
Yeah.
I don't like this. I don't like that. You can't be happy. You can't be positive. And it's just like you got to kind of eliminate all of those negative aspects and kind of take all the information in that you want to take in, but kind of put a positive outlook on that, because at the end of the day, like so many things are out of your control, and so for you to dwell over them is waste of energy. So yeah, that's where my head's at.
Dude, I love that. And it's funny. The second part that I wrote down under positivity is positive mindset is about overall perspective on your life and focusing on the good. And you literally said perspective while you were talking. So I think that's it, man. It's just there's so much shit that happens to everybody in our life every single day,
No
no
doubt.
matter who you are, and you focus on the glass half full kind of mentality, and that you're like, you dude, exactly like you said, like it's the opportunity that we have, that we woke up.
For sure.
That's it for me. Like, I tell people like that the one moment that shifted my entire life was when I heard Gary tell the 400 trillion to one. That
Yeah.
was like the unlock for me, dude. I was like, I can't even complain. Like I literally can't even complain. Like there's no option for me. And that stemmed to so many things for me. Being a better dad, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's just like everything. It's just when you don't complain and you focus on the good, it just elevates your life to such a fucking good level, man.
No doubt.
Fuck yeah. So the last thing is what do you think are some positive benefits of Web3 as far as like maybe the future goes, like moving forward?
Yeah. I think a positive benefit is that the with Web3, the power is in the people. And when I say that, I mean that like for example, when this was like 2020 going into 2021 with a few of those airdrops. So like now what it is like us as individuals in the space, we have so much say in terms of like, oh, we want to use this platform. Oh, we're on Twitter. Oh, we're doing this, we're doing that. I think that like as individuals, we have a lot of power and we can shape the future of Web3 in terms of like, it's not corporations that are going to come in and impact the space. It's us. Since we're early adopters, we're pushing it forward. You're speaking, I'm speaking, we're on a podcast about it right now. This information and onboarding is gonna be what pushes the space forward, as well as obviously the pre-built tech. But yeah, I mean, I just think that the influence each individual has on the space as a whole. And again, like to my point around putting their own spin on it and being able to create and do what they want. Um, I think that that's positivity. Like it's provided creative outlets for individuals who, people never thought about making money through their art in the past. Now, over the past couple of years, people have a full time living and now they can create, they can do what they want. It's created several jobs. I mean, man, like you see every Fortune 500 company, I can guarantee you this in the next 5 to 10 years, they're going to be hiring several Web3 advisors, several, people to push the space forward. And so I think I was talking to someone about this, but like, I was like, yo, like everyone at VCon, like I looked around, look at every single person here. This is like an early internet conference. Like we are all shaping the future of this space, and which is going to impact every single business model, maybe not every single business model, but several. And so us kind of being in it and being involved right now, I think that just like the opportunities are endless. And I think that the positivity that's going to bring and loud individuals like yourself, like Gary, like, who are talking about it and who are in Web3 as well. I think it's a symbiotic relationship. between Web3 and positivity, and I think it should be that way because it's so day to day, man. Like, yeah, individuals like Discord, fucking Twitter, so much negativity, rugs, like, and so I, man,
Drugs, expectations, bro, entitlement. There's so many entitlement, fucking accountability, fucking expectations are just out of this world. So negativity can be flowing for sure on the Twitter timeline or in Discords.
for sure.
Yeah, man. I like to think the cool thing in my mind, like lately, and this is obviously it's kind of a selfish take for me, but I think for a lot of people is like I don't even know what I'm capable of being full time in Web3. Like I don't know what that's like, but I just know that it's gonna be fucking crazy, and I
Yeah,
know it's gonna happen soon. I'm like, so that's why I'm even more motivated because I just don't even know what I'm gonna be capable of when I have more time to do this kind of stuff, and that goes for a lot of people, man. There's a lot of
yeah.
people that are doing a normal job or running a normal business or doing something IRL, and they're working their ass off to be in Web3. And when that happens, it's just fucking just keeps elevating the space to where like this is just gonna grow to be so crazy.
No, 100%. No, and it's a great point. Like, again, so many people are just scratching the surface, which is exciting.
Let's fucking go. All right. So before we move into enthusiasm, this is a little sidebar that I go into. And so I asked the guest, I'm very big into faith. But I asked the guest if you've been big into faith or if you're religious or if how do you feel about manifestation? Do you do that? Is that something that you believe in?
Yeah, yeah. So I'm not massively religious. I'm sort of a bet on yourself type individual. I definitely believe in faith, but again, do not practice really. But manifestation, 100%. I think that again, I one of the books I just read, Power of Now, is a great book in terms of talking about mindset and just being present. But yeah, I meditate occasionally, and yeah, I think manifestation is a real thing. Legit, man. I remember saying to myself like, legit 3 years ago. Like I said, I was a big Gary fan, and I saw Vayner Sports, and I was just like, "Yo, I fucking love sports. Like, it'd be dope to work at Vayner Sports." And it's just at the back of my mind, like 3, 4 years ago. So, like for me, manifestation is definitely a real thing. And I think, like, yeah, if you preach something and you really want something, and you're gonna make it happen. So yeah, that's sort of where I'm at. But I'd love to hear kind of your perspective because yeah, I'm not again super religious or anything like that.
No, that's great, dude. I honestly fucking love that happened for you. I think, yeah, I'm really religious, but I don't think it's like a big deal if you're not. I think just faith in general. I think I like to tell people like I somehow I don't know if it's through my job, like because I sell stuff every day, but it's like I've developed this way of talking about like religion or just the universe in a way that's like unbiased.
Yeah,
And your views are your views, my views are my views, but like at the end of the day I think like it's the simplest way to think about it is like I just tell people the universe has your back. And so whatever way you want to think about that, if you want to think about that as God, if you just want to think about that as like whatever energy,
yeah,
I think that the universe wants all of us to win, and it's
no doubt,
always there for us, right? Like if you're a good person and you do good things, karma is so practical.
for sure.
Manifestation, like you said, dude, I'm such a big manifester. Like I dream so big. So yeah, like I think, yeah, you just set those goals, you talk about them, you do them, you put towards the action, like it's gonna happen. I have some really big things that I manifest, so I love that. I think just talking about it, man. I think when you put something into the universe, like
For
or
sure.
just out there, like,
That
and
energy.
someone else starts talking about it, right? Like, my biggest goal in my life, in my terms, is to retire at 35, and I've been saying
All
that since
right.
I was 18 years old, and so now I'm 10 years in, and most people I tell like that aren't young think I'm fucking crazy. And most people even young think I'm fucking crazy. And I literally it just drives me more, right? But those people might go tell their friend. And their friend might tell their friend, like, oh, this guy, they might not even know me. This guy named Dominic, he's wants to retire at 35. Like that's the
Yeah,
craziest thing I've ever heard. And so it's like it starts this like momentum and this energy. And I truly like just really believe in that because I believe, like I said, like the universe has our back. And so when you think like that, like as long as you're doing the right thing, you're putting in the effort, like those things will come true, just like you said. So yeah, I'm big, man, on manifesting. I think manifesting with your close people in your life, like telling them your goals, and you guys work off that. I also love to meditate. Huge, man. I think it's
Yeah,
just good to focus.
I
Really good to focus.
I think with the amount of time like most of us spend on screens, like it's needed. Or like yeah, just getting out in nature, like a weekend in the mountains or whatever you have access to. But yeah, I mean, with the amount of time that we spend online and chopping it up, I think that having some sort of outlet that you can kind of refocus and reset is super beneficial.
Fuck yeah. And you get a 5 to 10 meditation in, a 5 to 10 minute
No doubt.
meditation in every day, dude. It's crazy, dude. Like it really is.
100%.
All right,
Yeah,
let's get into enthusiasm. So this is my shit. You know, I got some energy. So I love enthusiasm, man. I think it's slept on. Enthusiasm is
for
slept
sure.
on for sure. Um, a lot of people don't show excitement in their life because they're afraid of being judged. And all I can think about, you know, for people, and I tell my friends and my friends that are dads now, because I have dad friends, that's kind of crazy to say, is like, I just can't wait until my son scores his first goal, scores his first touchdown. Like
No
I'm
doubt.
gonna fucking
Freak
lose
out.
my mind, dude.
Yeah.
Like, and that's how I want to live my life. And so that's how I will live my life. And I tell people that all the time because, like, at the end of the day, we have one life. Um, so this question's fucking awesome. I love it. I literally love this question. What are 3 things right now that you can't get enough of?
Right now that I can't get enough of in terms of like my day to day.
I you can do whatever, dude. There's 3 things in your life, day to day, whatever, that you can't get enough of. Basically, that you're obsessed with.
I'm obsessed with. Transparently, right now, I'm obsessed with football, the NFL being back. I just and
Okay.
having clients and athletes partaking. I like every Sunday, like me and a few friends on the couch, watch the games all day. So that's got to be one of the three. Um, another thing that I'm obsessed with. Um, I'm obsessed with the idea of remote work, but specifically being wherever you want. Especially in the situation that I'm in. I don't have a family. Again, no one specifically that's depending on me. So yeah, I'm super passionate about the idea that like the next 5 to 10 years, I can spread my wings and legit like to your point, manifest whatever, do whatever I want to do. So I'm obsessed with opportunity, I guess, just the word opportunity, and ambition. Those two things kind of I think about on a day to day. So yeah, that's not something specific and tangible, but that's something that's on my mind. And then the third thing that I am obsessed with, I want to hit you with like some sort of like food, but what else am I obsessed with? I feel like I gotta hit like all three. Right now, man, that's tough. Like on a day to day.
Are
Um,
you obsessed with the food right now? Are you like super into some type of food right now?
no, that was no, I'm not. Which is
Yeah.
I want to be. I want to be. Um, but no, I'm not. I'm not fantasizing over any specific type of food. th- I mean, the other, I'm a big, you know what? I'm a big sports guy. I've kind of you know what I've gotten into recently that is massively hyped and like Gary's been talking about it, but like pickleball, man, pickleball is pretty fucking fun. I wouldn't say I'm obsessed with it, but like I think, man, I wanna play in a couple of like the pro tournaments. I think I used to play tennis, like I was a big tennis guy, but the serve was always the part of the game that let me down. But like pickleball, the skill gap is not insane in terms of the serve is underhand. And I can get the topspin on the wiffle ball and whatever. So I'm I mean, man, legit. I'm obsessed with competition. I'm obsessed with fucking. I we still playing soccer. We had our last game last night, like I said. But I'm obsessed with just like fucking being in the mix and competing and just like challenging my friends to one-off things or challenging people to get out of their comfort zone. Just doing different things to kind of make life fun and enjoyable. And I think that like at least with people I know, like everyone's kind of caught up in like this mundane rhythm in terms of like work, then maybe go out on a Friday night, then maybe football on Sunday, then school, or whatever it is. And so I'm obsessed with breaking routine, and doing cool things that spice life up.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
I love it, dude. Do you watch the UFC? Are you a big UFC guy?
I fuck with the UFC. Yeah. I'm not a like I don't know everyone, but definitely I think that it's a big week. No, what there's a match.
No, not this week. 2 weeks. Aljo fights.
Yeah,
That's Vayner sports guy. Yeah.
yeah, and I think he's what's the main card? There's someone huge after that fight as well.
Yeah. Charles Oliveira versus Islam Makhachev. Yeah, that'll be a good fight.
I'm excited about that guy, man. Makhachev is insane.
Really, you think he's gonna win? I don't think he's gonna beat Oliveira.
Khabib.
Yeah, I don't think he's even near as good as him. But
no, I'm not saying
I just think like I agree with you that like they just eat, breathe shit fighting, like in wrestling. And I think that Charles Oliveira, like, dude, I've wanted him to lose, like, just because I don't have anything against him. I just like the other people in the lightweight division, and he's fucking dominated everybody. I'm just like, I can't bet against him. No fucking way I'm betting against him, bro. He's just a savage, literally.
Are you a sports gambler? Or?
I'm not.
Okay.
I would love it. I love it, but that's why I don't do it. So no, I don't. I just not like that. The only sport, honestly, that I watch is UFC because one, there's just like a lot of politics and other sports that I don't agree with, whatever. Two, I really have no time, to be honest, because college football is my favorite thing to watch. But I just like on a Saturday, I'm with my kids, dude. Like I'm working so much during the week that I can't sacrifice watching college football all day Saturday. I'd rather spend time with my kids. So like I don't watch any football. Same with Sunday, right? Like I don't watch football because I spend it with my kids. And so the UFC is at night. Every time it normally starts at 4, right? I guess if you watch the prelims, but you can always watch it later. And then my wife actually got into it too. So now we watch it together, which is fucking really exciting. And yeah, dude, I love it. I just think that it's the only sport, to be honest, I don't know why nowadays, like I get like anxious about, and I don't get like, I'm not even an anxious person, but dude, it's just like, it's fucking crazy. Like anything can happen at any moment. Like you see a fucking broken leg or something, dude. It's like, I don't know. I don't know how to describe it, but it's fucking wild.
And I love the underdog story as well.
100%.
Like we see upsets.
Yeah.
Like it's fun.
Honestly, I'm not going to lie to you, dude. And I don't have the heart to tell AJ this, but I don't like most of the fighters that are under VSP. But I cheer for him anyways because I ride that hard with VSP. So, but it's okay. We ride. I just love it. Anyways, I just love competition. I probably will. Fuck, I probably will. I'm so honest, dude. I probably will. That's okay. That'd be the last interview I ever do. No, I'm just kidding. No, but you know why I like UFC, man? Because I wrestled my whole life. And that was the hardest sport I ever did, like hands down, taught me the most lessons. I absolutely hated it, but it was the best lessons I've ever learned in my life. And so like, that's why I love UFC, because it's you in the ring against another guy or girl. Right. And it's on you. Like you have the train, like you trained that you're not relying on anyone. Like, of course you have a coach, but like, dude, it's when you're in that fucking octagon, like it's on you. And so, like you said, dude, competition, like I just live for that shit. And the underdog, like you said, like it's just so sick to watch like someone come up that's worked their whole life for something. And truly you can see like in the ring that they're fighting for their whole life. And that's fucking, that's so sick, dude.
No doubt. No, 100%. I'm with you on that. UFC is dope.
Let's go. All right, dude. So I feel like you maybe have already answered this, but I'm still going to ask you. What has been the biggest accomplishment of your life?
Biggest accomplishment. I don't think I did answer that. The biggest accomplishment of my life. Man, again, like I like to think I'm young. So biggest accomplishment.
You're only 21, right?
Yeah. Uh, that's crazy, man. I mean, like, there's been like some insane sporting accomplishments. Like, yeah, I'd probably have to gravitate towards that. Like, I'm obviously super pumped in terms of like business and career wise, like where I'm at. Yeah, man, I would say biggest accomplishment was like potentially getting invited to like a Team Canada youth camp.
Yeah.
So like being considered one of the top players in Canada. Um, but again, I could probably think of something better like that now. Like it's saying that it's like it was dope at the time, but
Does that mean you would have
that
been like on the Olympics, or what does that mean?
like it would have been like below the team that would go to the World Cup because like we're younger,
Yeah.
but like the best in the country.
Wow.
Um,
That's pretty sick, dude. That's fucking sick.
yeah, at the time it was just like holy fuck, like
Yeah.
just
I
insane.
love World Cup soccer. I love the Olympic soccer.
Are you excited?
I have a custom USA jersey that was my name. Fuck yeah.
So Pulisic is probably the biggest player in the US and he's on Chelsea. And we just had like a new owner buy us out because obviously our old owner was Russian and they made him sell the club.
Yeah.
Uh, so yeah, like the owner of the Dodgers and Lakers, I believe, Todd Bowley,
Oh,
just
shit.
bought the club. And so yeah, we'll see. There's probably he's trying to Americanize soccer, man, and I'm not for it at all. I fucking hate it because
Yeah.
like let footy be European, let it be British. He wants to bring like an all-star game to the Prem. Like he's so outspoken and he's just been in charge for like a month. I think he needs to slow his roll a little bit. But
That's
yeah, I
tough.
mean it'll be interesting to see the World Cup's coming legit, man. We're almost in October. It's coming November 20th.
Oh
Um,
shit.
yeah, so it's never been in the winter before. It's always in the summer. World Cup every 4 years is in the summer. That's been a constant. And this year they switched it up. It's in the winter. It's during the middle of the season for most of the European seasons. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what impact that plays. And obviously it's in Qatar. And it's like gonna like the stadiums are air conditioned, but it's still gonna be like 35 degrees. And Canada's got a good squad. I think we're better than you guys. We're better than the US. But yeah, I mean, I'm interested to see who wins. I think it'll be fun to have the World Cup kind of over the winter period. It'll be
So my
exchange.
thing is like, are a lot of people not going to play in the World Cup because they'll just stay on their teams, or?
No. So all the leagues have stopped. Like
Oh
every
shit.
single league is taking like a 2 month break.
Because of the
So
World Cup.
because of the World Cup, so all the
Yeah.
best players will still be there. No one like yeah, every league that I know of, from November 20th to like until the new year is going to be off.
Who do you think the best team in the world is?
Like who do I think is going to win the World Cup?
Yeah.
Um, I think that I think the best team in the world is France, but I think Brazil is going to win the World Cup. I think there's too much. France just won the Euro. There's too much drama in France, like in terms of like players not getting along. There's a bunch of shit coming out of their training camp. I think just Brazil has got a star-studded team. Yeah, I think Brazil is going to win it.
Who's your dark horse
Dark
make a
horse.
run team?
My biased answer is I actually think like Canada's got a good squad, but my real answer to who's a dark horse is probably someone like who would be I think like I think like Wales, man. Like a because there's teams like that could just like they have a few quality players, and they could just get hot and win a couple rounds and then be in the semis. Like there's all like
Yeah.
Croatia is like a super. I was in Croatia this summer actually. I love it. It's a super small country though, and they've always had a good soccer team. They've never been top, but they made the World Cup final 4 years ago against France and lost. So yeah, I mean, we'll see. It'll be interesting. But yeah, I'm excited. It'll be good quality. It'll be good quality this year.
Is the US's coach good? Or I haven't really been like up to date on it. Are we worth a shit besides that
You
guy you said?
struggled in qualification. You guys struggled. I think it was Mexico, Canada, then the US. in terms of ranking in that pool, which is surprising because US normally should be higher. Um, yeah, I think that there's a lot of moving pieces with the US. Like Canada's team has more stability, Mexico's team's got more stability. US has got England in their group. They've got Iran, and they have I want to say Wales on it. I want it or Scott. They got another like team that's kind of like England. So we'll see. I think US can get out as number two, but it'll be close.
Fuck. I mean,
Yeah,
the
man.
thing is, like, I feel like watching the World Cup 4 years ago is like just the World Cup in general, but like those type of events, I feel like say the U.S. beats England, that's like that could be like the whole tournament. Like they could just have momentum from there.
Yeah,
I think
no,
that's
legit,
what's crazy
legit.
about the World Cup.
Yeah, yeah, no, it's such a again, your team clicks at the right time, you're going far. That's all it is. It's about form. Like I said, I talked about like confidence and stuff earlier. Like if 11 players got that chemistry and are buzzing and they're all on form, that team is going far. Versus like the best players in the world could be on France, could be on Brazil, could be on England, whatever team. But if those guys don't mesh at that specific time, and some of them are coming off injuries and they're not on form, they're not going to go to where they should. So yeah, it's so situational, man. It depends. So which is why like it's not something that like I would like bet on. Like yeah,
I'm
it's
pumped.
tough to call.
Honestly, I'm pumped to watch it, and then fucking now I can text you about it. So that's fucking exciting.
Yeah, yeah, no doubt.
What's your most exciting moment in Web3?
Most exciting moment in Web3. Um, um, an an exciting moment at the time for me was just because I was super invested and it was the first thing I was in and I enjoyed it. But Curio Cards had the Christie's auction, and seeing those like the full set of cards go for like I forget what it was, but it was a massive number, and I was kind of like watching the auction live, and I was like, I had like 10 to 15 of them, and I was just like, I think I was like with my family and like some friends, and like showing them this auction of like this Mona Lisa fucking Curio card that I like own four of, and this whole set sold for whatever it was, like an insane amount of money, and I was just like, holy fuck, like it's exciting, this is insane. So that's like an early days exciting moment. I think like another exciting moment like for me was what's happened with the black card just because I was so involved in that in terms of like kind of building out the tech and help and supporting the dev team and kind of making sure all that was good. That yeah, just seeing that like just building out that new tech, nothing like that had been done before. And seeing that first auction, I think we had like I want to say like $700,000 worth of VSPs sold, or like 500, like a fuck ton, in terms of ETH value, and that were burned. So just seeing the success, and we've obviously rolled out five since then, and had I think we burned up to like 2,800 passes, right now. But yeah, just seeing like the overall success of that first auction, and like there was a moment where, and I think I told I don't know if I told the story to the community, but like auction one. It was like it was supposed to end on Thursday at 10 a.m. and there's a snipe timer in the last 5 minutes. So whenever someone bids in the last 5 minutes, they're supposed to reset to 5 minutes. And so there's a bunch of bids coming through on the blockchain. We see them. Like people are jockeying. People are like the top guy, I think, bid 132 VSPs, which is a fuck ton of money. He burned 132 VSPs for his black card number one. We had, I believe, I want to say like 1,200 burn in that first tranche from 1 to 10. Like again, maybe my numbers off. I'm trying to, but we had a fuck ton of volume. But so what happened was like in the last 5 minutes, someone who's pretty reliable in terms of like they're super positive and Discord member. He's actually a VFriends guy as well. Tim Feitch or Tim F.
Okay.
He built out like the book games. He built out something for book games, like to help you, some investment tool,
Book
whatever.
games. Yeah. He's fucking awesome.
I think you know. Yeah, I think you know of the guy. Anyways, he's in the Discord. He's like, yo, like the snipe timer doesn't seem to be resetting, and which would mean that most of that volume that we would have had in the last like 40 minutes of the auction with the timer resetting would have been gone. Like we would have burned a fuck ton less. Like, and so I'm on with the devs, I get a call from AJ. It's like 5 minutes before the auction ending. Tim has just said, looks like the snipe timer's not resetting. AJ calls, Cal, what the fuck is going on? Like, oh, he's super stressed. Like we gotta get the devs on. Like, what? He's like freaking out, man. And I'm sitting there. I'm like, yo, I'm like looking. I'm like, mine seems to be resetting. Like, what's going on? And like, and he's just he's freaking out. Like I've never. And so like this is kind of like it was on. And so I'm on with the devs. I'm like, yo, like snipe driver's not resetting. Like I feel like we're in the war room. Like I'm like, yo, we gotta get the.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at it, and it was a mistake by Tim. It actually did refresh. So I'm on the phone. I'm like, yo, AJ, like, go check, man. I'm like, it's refreshed. We're rolling. Little heart drop there, but we're good. And yeah, ever since that, it's been smooth. But that was just one of those moments where like I had like a few members of the team on and some of the dev guys on, and they heard the call, and like I could see all their faces drop. Like, and so I was just trying to manage expectations. But, yeah.
Damn. So a total of 2,800 have been burned.
Yeah. If you go look at the VSP supply right now, it hasn't taken into account. I think we burned. This is the fifth tranche today, 41 to 50. I believe we burned. I want to say 360 to 370 VSPs today. But if you go look at the OpenSea supply, OpenSea's actually already changed it for us. Like it says 13.2K, and we started at 15,555, and so that doesn't account the 370. So I think in total we're gonna burn more than 3,000 passes.
Holy shit!
Which is exceeded my expectations for sure. I think it exceeded everyone's on the team's expectations. But yeah, that's like 15. It's like 15 to 20% of our supply, and we've got that tech built out. So yeah, it's dope.
That's fucking wild, bro. That's fucking crazy. That's sick. Yeah, I love it. I fucking love it. That's fucking sick, dude. That's funny that you had that call. That's something that you'll never forget. So that's sick.
Yeah.
All right, dude, let's roll into dreams. So I used to say on the show that I was a delusional optimist, and I have changed that to I'm a deliberate optimist, because I think you can be a crazy optimist, but you have to be deliberate about the things that you want, right? Same like with our things that we are manifesting, like you manifesting that it'd be cool to work for Vayner Sports, but you never let up the gas. And I think that's something that's huge. So the first thing under dreams is what is the dream that you have for your life? So I'm going to read to you the dream that I have for my life, and then you're going to go off the cuff the dream that you have for your life. And I'm telling you, you're going to fucking crush it, because I don't know if this is like some psychological shit, but everybody has a banger answer. So I fucking love this. So I'm going to read to you mine. So I'm Gentle Tornado. I am an honest, enthusiastic, and successful man that will inspire others to live their life through happiness.
I fuck with that. Okay.
Yeah, let's go.
I like that.
So what is yours, Cal?
I would, I'm Cal, and I think my dream is to impact as many people in a positive way that I can through whatever platform I want to or I need to, and just be a pillar of strength, stability, positivity, ambition. Just preach, preach ambition, preach to people that they can do whatever they want to do. And I just think that too many people are kind of caught up in societal pressures, and I just want to help as many individuals as I can escape that and just live a life of fulfillment and reach their full potential. And I want to do that myself as well. So I'm kind of on that journey, and I'm learning along the way, and I want to teach people as I go and just be on this journey with everyone. That's the answer.
Yeah, that was fucking fire, dude. That was fire. I love it. Yeah. I love it. You're gonna fucking do it. So I'm pumped. Okay, this is you're 21, so I'm gonna change the age a little bit. If you could tell your 10-year-old self one piece of advice, what would it be? Normally I pick 13.
You say
fuck it. It's pretty fucking relative. If you could tell your 13-year-old self one piece of advice, what would it be?
Probably to be present, to enjoy every moment, and not get caught up in um, the next thing, like to enjoy the moment, to not be focused on the future, to take past learnings and roll with them and adapt, but just to be in the moment and enjoy, people, the little things, like enjoy your meal, enjoy that trip you took, enjoy that family event. Like I just think that as a kid, too focused on what's next, what's next, what's next. I love change. I want what's next. And so I would say to myself, things will come. Just be present, be patient. Patient is what patience and presence. Double P.
Double P, dude. Patience and presence.
Yeah.
Fucking love it. Patience and present.
EP.
I love it. I love it, dude. Double P. Dude, fucking, I'm tweeting that out right after this. So don't you fucking think I'm not. What is your? I don't normally ask this question, to be honest, but I think this is really good for you.
Yeah.
What is your biggest dream in Web3? Like, do you have a massive dream that you want to do in Web3?
Yeah. So that's interesting. That's an interesting question. It's changed like several times, and I would say like I'm still sort of iterating and figuring it out. I have several dreams, so it's not narrowed down to one thing. Just because I think like again, we both know where Web3 is going, and this is where I want to be. Um, like my original dream was to use web, like essentially, man. This was like when I first got in. I wanted to do what WagMe did, kind of thing, where I wanted to own a sports team, and with a bunch of people and curate a community, and do that thing and kind of run that and be able to purchase a team and with like-minded individuals. But so now that we've seen them do that, like I think it's very good proof of concept. And I'm kind of thinking about that. But man, like I don't know, for me, like I always want to have my own. I've been thinking about this for years, man. I love sneakers. I always want to have my own sneaker brand. Um, I love sports. Obviously, is tying that in. I just think like for me, the dream is to be able to tie my IRL passions into something that I can help grow and just get out and just fucking preach. And so yeah, like I love travel, I love sports, I love um sneakers, I love food, like just being able to kind of tie all those things under one umbrella and build something and build a platform around that. I think that's what my dream is. But again, like yeah, I've got a list of fucking ideas and shit that I want to do. But that's perspective and patience, man. I just think that like, yeah, the time will come. I'm super pumped with where I'm at right now, and I want to keep growing this. And yeah, I think that there's so many opportunities. So and bro, like think about it like this, like for sports specifically, what are NFT projects? What are people trying to do? They're trying to build community. Fucking sports teams, bro. Those are built-in communities. What do people are passionate about? They're passionate about their sport, their team, their franchise, whatever that is. So if you can I want to be in a spot where like we integrate like NFTs and the community to actual like sports teams, because they already have that built out in terms of community. They don't have to build community, and that's the biggest step and biggest misstep projects and individuals take, is like it's so fucking hard to build community and create value. Fucking sports teams already have that community built in. So it's an interesting concept that I've been thinking about.
I love it, dude. I think those things are fucking sick, man. I think those are all real good. I don't know. That makes me excited, man. That really does. That's fucking sick that you thought of all that. The last thing is how do you feel about habits? Are you a big habit guy? Do you focus on habits, having healthy habits? Like what? How do you tell me about that a little bit?
No doubt, no doubt. I think habits are super important. If you want to be successful, if you want to be positive, if you want to be executing at a high level, in whatever you're doing, I think like obviously bring 100% and just that energy and that work ethic to whatever you're doing is super important. And how do you get there? Habits. So whether that's getting the same amount of sleep every night, meditation, eating properly. I think that like I think that like so I take it from two. So as an athlete, you got habits in terms of like you got to eat proper to recover. You got to get rest. you gotta do mental training in terms of like where your mentality's at, your confidence, all that. But same thing for performing in whatever work field you're in. Like you gotta, I think mentally it's the most important thing because you're not performing physically for most people. So but physical and mental well-being is such a big aspect of like being able to just be happy and enjoy and but also perform. And execute and whatever that goal is and that dream is. So yeah, man, I you know I'll work out every day. That's a habit. I'll try to limit my screen time like before bed, before I wake up. Read. I love to read. Yeah, I mean, I definitely, again, with where I'm at, like so many things are happening and changing that I don't have like a set routine. But I think like integrating certain habits into the day to day, I'd maybe have like 5 to 6 habits that like happen every day that just like is constant. And I know like, yo, this is a good day. I'm mentally in the right spot because of those things. So I preach to people like, find your things, find your habits and move forward and keep that rolling. But yeah, that's my long winded answer.
I love it. I love it, dude, man. You got to find those things that help you be better every single day. So there's a few different last things that we're going to do. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen with you. I'm going to read my favorite poem to you.
Okay.
I think you're going to really appreciate this. So it's called The Dash by Linda Ellis.
Okay.
Because I read of a man who stood to speak at the funeral of a friend. He referred to the dates on the tombstone from the beginning to the end. He noted that first came the date of birth, and he spoke the following date with tears. But he said what mattered most of all was the dash between those years. For that dash represents all the times that they spent alive on earth, and now only those who love them know what that little line is worth. For it matters not how much we own, the cars, the house, the cash. What matters is how we live and love and how we spend our dash. So think about this long and hard. Are there things you'd like to change? For you never know how much time is left that can still be rearranged. If we could just slow down enough to consider what's true and real, and always try to understand the way other people feel, and be less quick to anger and show appreciation more, and love the people in our lives like we've never loved before. If we treat each other with respect and more often wear a smile, remembering that this special dash might only last a little while. So when your eulogy is being read, with your life actions to rehash, would you be proud of the things they say about how you spent your dash?
That's fire. I love that. That's yeah, that's inspiring, man. I think the line that stuck out to me was um when your eulogy is being read and I've heard Gary preach this, but it's like it's it's not about like being kind and being positive is a mantra, and your whole existence is like, and I forget the exact quote, but he's like, yeah, it's not about this. It's about how many people fucking show up at your funeral. Like, and you know what?
Yeah.
And it's just that kind of. So I just thought of that but that specific line. But I think like, man,
Shit.
perspective.
You cut out so bad there, like you froze completely. That was
Oh,
weird.
shit.
But I heard was perspective, so I love it, man. I think that's right. Like the having people at your funeral that are actually meaningful, and then I just constantly think about is no regrets, man. Like I am not gonna be on my deathbed and fucking regret.
No.
Like I'm just say that I went for it and did my best and did the things that I truly wanted to do. Like at the end of the day, dude, like I don't see this podcast failing, but if it does, man, at least I went for it. That's all I can say is like I put my best effort forward and I did what I had set out to want to do. And, I will have no regrets.
And you probably like you can take so many things from it, and you learn so much.
Yeah.
Either way,
Yeah.
it's a win-win.
Oh, 100%, man. Like I was telling to Dan, I talked to Dan on the phone today and I said like, the value of this podcast is honestly, I told him, I said, it's 100x more for me than anybody else, man. I'm getting like,
Yeah.
just like, honestly, like, I'm sure we'll talk a little bit after this is done, but like those types of talking to these people before and after we do the podcast, during the podcast, I'm getting so much value that I'm hoping that the listeners are getting too. But like that for me is kind of like what we've talked about here, like way more important than the money in Web3, like those connections and truly like, you know, I've had a lot of shitty friends in my life and I've been fucked over a lot of times. So I value it 10x, like these connections I've made with genuine good humans. And so, yeah, I just absolutely fucking love it.
That's amazing. Yeah. No, I feel that.
We're fucking riding. Okay. So how we end it is that you get to leave the audience with one final statement, like one final thought,
Okay.
and then one question.
Okay. Can you give me an example of a question? Like what do you mean? Like a question for the audience?
Yeah, like for them to answer. So it can be, I
Okay.
mean, it could be anything.
Okay.
I've had, why are you in Web3? I've had, why
Okay.
not you? I've had
Yeah,
fucking, what's stopping you? I've had all kinds
yeah,
of crazy good questions.
I got you. Okay. I'll start with the one liner, the thought before the question. Um, I would say what I want to leave with the audience is um just fucking do it. Just go for it. I mean, what the fuck is holding you back? Any outside factors, pressures, just power through. And once you do that, I swear to God, you won't regret it. So yeah, just go for whatever you want and don't stop until you get there. And the question would be, um, what at, at the end of the day, what puts a smile on your face?
Let's
What
go.
what makes you smile? What makes you laugh? What makes you happy? That's my question.
Let's go. Absolute heat. Hyped Happy Hour, episode 21 with my guy Cal. Absolutely fucking crushed it. Thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Truly appreciate it. Thanks for listening, everybody. Share this with anybody that you think can get some value. Let's spread some positivity. Have a good fucking night, day, evening, wherever you are. Fucking peace.
Peace.